Our next technique that we need to use is a shade. A shade is when we add any color to black. This gives us a different type of color of that target color. Here in this example, you can see I've already added a layer of blue and a layer of black. Colored pencils lend themselves to having layers. That means that they really work well when we add multiple layers of color. It makes them deeper and it makes them more interesting. Sometimes I see students use a colored pencil and they use a lot of pressure right from the get-go, trying to cover up all the white spaces. There's a couple problems with that. As we use a lot of pressure to color in on a page, it's bending and crushing the paper, which weakens the integrity of it and makes it harder to work with. Also, colored pencils blend better when we use multiple layers. The style of using a lot of pressure to push in a colored pencil is called burnishing. And it's a bit of an advanced technique, so we want to learn the basics first by adding multiple layers. You can see I've started out with a layer of black and a layer of blue, but I need these two colors to be a little bit more rich. So I'm going to go ahead and take some time and add in more layers there and there so that we can have deeper colors as we move into our shade. Here you can see that I've added a few more layers. In total, I have about 4 layers of colored pencil, just building up that color to make it richer and darker. You can see along the way, I did have a few spots that went outside the lines. So remember, anytime you accidentally color outside the lines, you're just gonna grab an eraser and clean up those edges so that we have a nice and clean edge in our project. This can happen anytime you're coloring within a section. So keep it in mind throughout the trimester to make sure your color stays within a section. Now, to create a shade, we're going to have to do the opposite of when we created a tint. On a tint, we started with white. On a shade, you have to start with a target color. And I'll show you why. I'm going to have this blue right here, and I'm going to try to add some blue to this black. You can see that the color is not mixing, and the black is too dark to really accept this blue, and it doesn't make anything for us. It still feels black. So to begin with, we'll start off here on this shade, and we start with a target color. You can see again, I'm holding a little bit farther back still. As we add blending together, we shouldn't add a lot of pressure. So I'm starting with a lighter layer of blue. Just getting that nice section in there. You can see adding a few passes as I move through this. Once I feel comfortable and confident that this is all filled in with blue, I can go ahead and grab my black and I'm going to add my first layer. Notice I am not right next to it. I am farther back and I'm holding my pencil farther back so that the amount of black is being controlled. You can see that getting added to our section, creating this dark shade of blue. So that's 1 and 2 layers, but you can see we don't have the same richness that we have from the other ones. So we're going to keep adding layers, and this is really how we blend colored pencils, is adding layers one on top of another. Again, it makes your colors rich and full of life, and it makes your projects really interesting. You see there's another layer and moving into a 4th layer. You don't want any color to win out. They should be nice and blended together. I'm going to go ahead and take some time and blend this together so we have a nice solid shade of blue. Now you can see that I've added a few more layers of both black and blue, alternating between adding a blue layer and then adding a black layer so that I can end up with a very nice shade of blue. You should always end on the target color, and you should not end on the shade color, which is black. And just fill that in nice so that you end with the blue. Notice as we do this, we are combining the two colors together because we can see through colored pencil layers, and that's how we achieve the blend. So that's how we create a shade, is starting with the target color and then adding black lightly and evenly.